Hey, everybody. Nice to see you here. So feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, where you're from and your proficiency with WeWeb. And the way it works is that you can ask questions in the question and answer part of Zoom. Then we'll take each of your questions in order, and if needed, we will ask you to step up on stage and present us what you're doing, so that we can help you on the fly. So I hope this is okay for everybody. And yeah, really interesting to see that we have new users today. So you have Gina, who was here the last time, week 3 of building our website. She's from the US, so that's really cool. Brendan, hi. Dave, hi. Bertrand from Locasoft, WeWeb starter, nice to meet you. And Zachary, still here, hey man. And May, first time WeWeb user. I work on WebFlow, but want something more custom. Nice. So we've got new users today. Cool. So it's already time to go. So I will begin with the questions. But first, maybe for the new people here. So I'm Q. I'm in charge of growth and marketing here at WeWeb, and Florian is one of the founder of WeWeb and the chief product officer. So basically the product guy here. So if you have any issues, he will answer them, hopefully. Naive and Dave is saying, hi, I'm Dave, building my startup plantogether.ai. I'm in San Francisco. Nice. I like to build a search input to select a location, probably using Google Map location search. Nice. So we've got people from the US today, France, and maybe other parts of the world. So first question, let's begin with Gina. 2 questions. Setting up Mapbox plugin, connecting to our data. So that's kind of broad. So we will ask you to step up and maybe explain it more. And second one is edit profile feature, file upload input, but in Supabase it is just an object. How do I actually get the image uploaded and saved in the database? So you know what, Gina, like last time, if you're okay, we're gonna invite you, and hopefully we'll be able to answer this. Okay. I just invited you. Nice.
Hi.
Hi again.
Hi, Gina.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Thanks. So for the Mapbox plugin, what do you mean to
Yes.
connecting to our data?
It says I can't share screen.
Ah, let me check this. Okay.
You're going to be a Zoom expert soon, Q.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm really bad at this. I need to retrain. Okay. No, it should be okay. My bad.
Okay, so for the Mapbox, we have, how do I move this out of the way? We have a tile set of like all of the data, the markers that we want in the Mapbox. So I had assumed that I would put it in the sources here. I've tried like a couple of different URLs and types and none of them seem to work. So I'm just not sure if I'm doing it wrong or if there's like a different link.
No, they should work.
And I think we had this in the documentation. Did you follow the documentation on this? Because I think you need to export something, because I'm not, it's been a long time since I used Mapbox, but basically it's using their API though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually.
This is the community. Let me find it for you.
Yeah, can you send me that?
Yeah, so docs.weweb.io and then Mapbox. So let me send it to everybody in the chat, because that could be useful. Yep. Because yeah, I don't remember exactly how Mapbox works. Maybe Flow.
That's fine.
knows
Yeah,
it.
I just,
it's
I don't
been
know.
a while too, so I was looking for
I couldn't
that.
find that documentation, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
But I think it's a layer trying to add also. So I don't remember what is there.
Yeah, because from what I can yeah, I think from what I used to do when I was writing the docs, because actually I wrote the docs, you need to create a layer in the Mapbox UI and then export it, and then you can import it in
Okay.
WeWeb. But it's basically mapping, like everything you see here in the settings, it's mappings to their API when you use the SDK. So in
Right.
their docs, they explain which field you should use. And maybe it's not sources, or maybe it's only markers. It depends on what you're doing though, because I
Here.
think markers is exactly to pinpoint something on the map. When sources, it's maybe to change how the map is displayed. But to be honest, that's
Oh yeah, and then
they're
there's
more
layers.
layers. Yeah.
I think layers too, but could you just show us again what you have in your Mapbox
In
account?
Mapbox? Yeah, so we have this tile set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this
Okay,
is a tile
let's get
set.
the share link, the tile set ID. Can you go to your, if you can, because you are sharing, into your Mapbox dashboard? Yes, in here. And if I remember,
Or maybe
I'm
maybe we can
sorry, I
deep
need to
dive.
check.
No, it's okay. I can look. I
You
just couldn't find that
got
documentation,
me.
so I can look at that
I
too.
need to check again.
Yeah, because they've got a
y-
huge API. Yeah.
If she
So
Do you
struggles,
want me to go to the other page that I was asking about then?
yeah, like the
yes.
edit
Okay.
profile.
Yeah. So I mean, even when you sign up or when you edit the profile, I have, where are they? Like file uploads for
Mhm.
Yeah.
photos. If I add like any photo here, and then if
Mhm.
I go into Supabase, they're just like these empty objects.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure. How do I get like the actual photo? Like,
so right now we don't have the native action to upload an image to Supabase. It's coming next month normally.
okay.
But you can do it with a JavaScript. So give me 1 second if I can find it quickly. Could do it right now.
Yeah. And for Supabase, yes, Anthony is mentioning that we can check the console to check the errors from their API. That could be a nice way to try to debug it.
Mm.
And what we'll do in the meantime is that we'll ask Kevin, I think, our developers that develop the Mapbox plugin, because he knows the API really well. Because that's something, yeah, we're sorry about this, but that's typically the case with tools like Mapbox or Stripe. They have huge APIs,
Yeah.
so it's really hard to remember
Yeah.
what everything is about, even for us. But basically, if you want to use their documentation, and for all these tools, you should check their SDK, because what you see in WeWeb is just like a layer on top of their SDK
Right.
for the elements here. So hopefully it should work. I know that we've done like big projects with Mapbox, so normally it should work. It's just like, I think it's like the wrong field, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Dave was asking, what are the advantages of Mapbox over Google Maps? I would say that Mapbox is really, like, you can configure everything. And also the pricing is better than Google Maps. Google Maps is really expensive. Also, it's your data, not Google's. But yeah, it's really like, Google Maps is kind of like Google Analytics or every other Google product. It's really easy to use. But when you want something really custom, Mapbox is awesome. And I think Flow has the script now.
Yes. So I just
Nice.
sent a script in the chat. If you can get it, we could go through it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we can, yeah, you can even implement it right now if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So what you can
So
do
this
is
would
to,
be, yeah,
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
you can create a global workflow. Let's productize this. So you go
For
to, yeah, at
up
the
here.
top in here in the data
Here,
icon, yes,
yeah.
this one, workflows. You can create a new one here. You can give it a name on the top right, because you're gonna, yeah, in here you can call it upload file to Supabase, for example, something like this. And below you can add parameters. You see you've got to add item, yes, in here. And I think we're gonna need 2 parameters. So the first one is path. So it's the path for your file in Supabase. So it's a text, yes. And the second one will be your, let me check. Yes, it's a file object. Okay, so you can call it file. Call it file.
File.
And I think it's an object. In here, perfect. So now you can add an action in here, a JavaScript action. Okay. In here you can paste what I just sent, what you just copied. Okay, you see the first line is const path, and you've got variable and a big thing here. You can remove variables. Yes,
Just
you can
the
select
whole thing?
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, and then in the tab you've got a lightning icon, the third one. Yes, and in here you can select path. So it's going to take the parameter of the workflow. Basically, we are going to create a black box, kind of, and you will just have to fill in or bind the path and the file. And so below in the line 6, you've got from upload, and you've got variables, and yes, you need to change this also. So from, yes, perfect. So you can remove that
file.
and then the file, exactly.
Okay.
So for those who understand a bit more, maybe you can understand it too, sorry. But for the more technical ones, you see in here you've got await www.lib www plugins.supabase.instance. So we get the Supabase instance, it's using the Supabase SDK, and then you've got storage. And in here you see you've got, oh, so we could change later the bucket. Right now I think you may want to push into the public bucket, but you may want to push somewhere else. So we would need to update here also to push the file in a private bucket. But let's try this. So you can close this, and then you can go on your upload file, or maybe when you save a profile, I think maybe it's here.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Like once the whole form is submitted.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So before, maybe you can just add a file or add some data so we can try.
Oh yeah. Hang on, let me just change the. Right now, there's no user.
That's a nice way. Using variables to fake a user. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know, why is it not letting me paste this out? Okay, hang on.
But yeah, we are going to update the Supabase SDK to be on the new SDK 2, and to add many more actions with many more options. So
Okay, sorry.
we are on it.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh,
Okay.
so you can go to, yeah, you can add a file. Perfect. And then you can go to your workflow.
So in the same workflow that I was already doing.
Yeah, just
For the
so
submit form,
in here
okay.
So I think before updating your row in the Supabase, you can add an action. I think
You
it's
can use the blue
the first
icon
one.
on
Yeah.
top for this.
The plus, yes, in here.
Thanks.
And in here, you can look for execute workflow. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And you should be able to find, yes. And in here, you can bind your parameters. So the path is usually the name of your file
Okay.
plus plus the folder. If you have folders in Supabase, you need to provide the folder too. So the full
Okay.
path
So
of the
I would
file.
just click.
Yeah,
name.
in here you can
Okay.
click name. Yeah, I think it will work. And then you have to bind in here to the variable. So the file element variable. Yeah, all
The whole
sorry.
thing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the end of the
Okay.
day from
It's okay.
where I am. Okay, perfect. Let's try that. You can just try the action, I guess.
Okay, let me just update it in here because I think this was also updating the photos.
Or you can try just the action by clicking the test button on it. So you just upload the
Oh,
file.
okay.
Okay, so it didn't work. Bucket not found. So maybe the public bucket needs to have a name. So
Yeah, I don't
maybe it's
know if
not.
I set anything up. Yeah.
Ah, yes, you need to create it. Indeed.
What was it called? Bucket
You can
public?
call it. Yeah, it was bucket _ public, but you can call it public and
Okay.
we will update. I think it was lowercase. Oh,
Oh,
I don't know if you
Lowercase
can.
b. Otherwise,
Yeah,
we can change the script. Yeah.
maybe on the
okay.
arrow.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
So it's global workflow. Yeah, in here. Perfect.
Those in
And why
the
using
JavaScript.
global workflows is that if you reuse the upload in other workflows in your app, you will like, and if you change the bucket, for example, or like the logic, you will have to change only the workflow one
That's
time.
right. So I guess you need to add a policy
Oh my
too.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, Supabase. So
Okay, but so this should work. Like once
this
I have
should
the
work.
Supabase
Yeah.
set up. Okay.
Do you have a
I don't want to
row-level
waste
security?
everyone's time with the set.
Yeah, no
Oh,
worries.
here's policies. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. As Zachary was saying, it's maybe in like storage.objects. You should have a policy to upload on this table, because if you have row-level security on the table, by default, you can't upload anything. So you need
Right,
to
okay.
do everything in
Yeah.
Supabase. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks. So hopefully
Thank
it
you.
will work, and we'll check on Mapbox for last time.
Yes,
For next time,
thank
sorry.
you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so now one question from Bertrand Locasoft. Use input box value for setting a variable. I've added a change variable value step to my update workflow, but I don't see the input box on any formula tab. So same, I will ask you to step up on stage because it's really specific, but I think we could answer this. And Azak is saying, yeah, most of the time you can also use WeWeb Copilot to help you on this, because this is using ChatGPT, so this has knowledge of some of other tools, documentations. So, to Panay. So Bertrand, you should be able to come up on stage now. Hey.
Now you can hear me, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, this was my first question. I have a workflow, and I would like to add this change variable value step, which changes a variable to the content of a text field or input box. And I don't know how to do that.
Okay. could you share your screen so we could do it together?
I try. Yeah. Okay, which one? Wait a minute. Good question. You have so many screens open. I think this might be the one. Let me see. Yeah,
Nice.
it's this one. Okay. I go here and now I have to look for the page. I think this one. Okay, so I have this update step and this workflow on click. In the first step, I want to change the variable value to a field on my test page. And well, usually I expect the name of this text field or somewhere here, but I don't know where.
Okay.
Usually
Yeah,
I
so in the var. Okay, so can you go back to your page?
Yeah.
You can just close
the workflow, yeah.
Yeah, close the workflow in here. And I think it's the short
This one,
input field here. Yeah. Can you click the I button at the top to go to preview? Really near the pen on the, yeah, perfect, here. And can you fill in something to test?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So can you go back to your workflow?
Then I have to edit again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait a minute, workflow, this one.
Let's update, yes. Okay, nice. Can you, yeah, and show the formula here? Perfect. So can you click var? It's the first tab of the Data Explorer. And you should see input new name for var.
This one here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can
Okay,
click.
so let's.
You can remove, yes, that. And just after the plus, you can click here.
I clicked twice.
Twice.
No worries.
Okay, that
And
sounds
here
great.
you are.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this helpful.
You're very welcome.
No worries. The first time are the current variables of your project, and the second one is the collection, so everything you're fetching from a foreign API. And the third one, the lightning icon, is actually variables from the previous steps of your workflow. So you can reuse, like you can transform data along the way. And last one is formulas, so like functions, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is the answer already.
Nice.
Thank you.
Did you have another question, I think?
I have another question that was...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, how can I display a confirmation message? For instance, here, after this step, fetch collection, to confirm that everything has been updated as desired.
Okay, so you can click close and let's create a model for this.
You mean an action?
No, not yet. Not yet. So we are going to do it manually. So so you can customize your pop-up, basically your confirmation pop-up. So can you go back to the page? You can close this workflow here. Perfect. You can go to the plus button in here, and you can go to layouts. So it's the second one. Layouts just after elements. The second one.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay.
So in here, if you scroll, you should have a model. So maybe
this one,
yes. For instance, you can drag and drop it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay. It works.
Yeah, it's already
here.
there.
So you can see that it's hidden. So on the
very
left,
hidden.
on the on the elements tree, you can see you've got an eye. On the left.
On the left, really
on the left. You see it's here. Yeah, you've got the eye here. So this is because you saw that when you placed the element in the page, you had a pop-up telling you that it was also adding a variable. It was a bit quick, but basically it created also a variable for this. So if you go to, you see in the navigator, you've got elements. So this is your tree, and just on the tab at the top of this, really above this.
Above?
Yeah, again, really at the top of this panel, you've got elements and variables. It's a tab.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. So you can click variables in here, and here you can see all the variables in your page, available in your page. And if you scroll, you should see a new variable. Can you scroll again? We'll find it. Maybe a bit above. Yes, model opened. You see it?
Yeah, here.
In here. So it created this variable, and you can check.
Wait a minute, I just take a screenshot. So, okay. Yeah. And then
you can toggle it just to test.
To true.
To true, yes. And you see, you've got your model. So you can edit your model in here and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay.
I understand what you mean.
So you just have to update that variable to display the model now. So you can set up false again in here, and let's try in a workflow.
Yeah, and in the workflow, I set it to true or false.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then like if you want to variabilize the message, you can create variables for like the title or the description of the model, and you can change them on the fly in the workflow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I know how to do that.
Nice.
That's great. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I stop and leave the others.
One last
for the others.
One last thing, I think I saw that you were doing some SQL requests, right?
Yeah, I'm always using a Postgres SQL database directly with select and not with a API calls.
Okay. Because when you fetch a collection, it's just to get data, right? In the workflow, if you wish to send data, you should create an action for that, not through an action. You don't have an insert in your action.
I think let's say.
I think you had that. Can you show the workflow again?
Yeah.
Yeah, in here.
I send a complete string which is composed from many other. Wait a minute. Connection.
Yeah, you're using
this.
This is a collection.
This connection uses a composite string. I can show you. Actually, this is really a great thing. I think I use this one. Okay, let me see.
You've got the
edit formula. This is just one string which is composed of many substrings.
Okay.
Because I had a question in the community when I'm using the same string without these variables, it doesn't work. But if I combine all these strings together, I can easily update and do anything what I like.
Oh, I should show you a nice trick for this right now. So instead of using many variables in here, you should create your own formula. So what you can do is in this panel, instead of collections, at the top left of your screen, you can go back here in here. Perfect. And here you've got formulas, you see?
Yeah.
And you can create your own formula. So let's try this. So click add in here, call it a query or something as you wish. Nice. And you can click, you can add parameters. You see in here, you've got a little plus button, a bit hidden.
A plus button?
Yeah, just below. You've got
here.
parameters. Yeah, here. And you can create inputs for your formula. So this is all your variables.
Yeah.
So let's call it test, for example. Okay, you can give it a test value too. So if you wish to test your formula, clear.
Okay.
So something perfect. And in the on the right on the formula.
Yeah.
In here you can let's do it properly. You know what? Let's toggle it to JavaScript. So you see you've got formula at the top. It's select input. On the the panel on the right, and in here, really at the top of it, you've got formula.
Ah,
And in here, you can instead use JavaScript. And you see in here, you've got return. So let's create your string in here. So after return, yeah, you can type in space, and it's the it's not the quote, it's the single quote, but the one, you know, a bit yes, not that one.
Le backtick.
The backtick. Thank you, Q.
you mean that? No.
No,
No.
not that one. You've got three
Let me
quotes:
send it.
a double quotes, a
Double
single
quotes,
one,
single
Chat.
quotes, and
and a backtick. It's like a single quote, but
it's
The one I sent in the chat.
accent. Accent. Back.
it's
Accent grave.
it depends on it's near your enter key if you are in a Mac. I don't know,
Well, I have a German keyboard.
Yeah. I've known this one when I was working in Berlin. Yeah, that's
Maybe
hard.
you send it in the chat, then I can
Yeah,
copy it.
Yeah. But basically, you can use like JavaScript string interpolation if you
Yeah.
know it.
yeah,
Using
but
backticks and curly
yes.
braces, but maybe that will take too long. But
Okay,
basically, what you can do is generate
let's
the
make it
whole
simple.
string.
Yeah,
you know.
let's make it simple. So use the quotes like you used in the formula before. So for example,
I think I
open a
used this
quote.
one.
Yeah, and type in a fake query like insert or select yes,
Like
something
star
like
from,
this.
yeah.
Select star from table, something like this.
Oops.
Or for example, and you can close the quote.
Actually, I have used the double quotes, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same. And in here, for example, if you wish to use your variable, you can just type in plus, and then you go to the Lightning tab. So the third one, the third tab. Yeah.
This
so
one.
you've got no the tabs. So yes, the third one, just the Lightning one. No.
The what?
Just above, you've got variables, data, you know, some icons.
Yeah, I got
and
them
the
here.
Yes, just at the right of this, you've got vars. No, it's yeah. You
the
will
lightning
find
icon.
it. Yeah, this one.
WeFlow, the workflow. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you can use your parameter from before, and you see you've got from DDD.
Yeah. Well,
and okay,
it's just some space missing. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's keep it like this, and then what you can do is go back to your collection.
You need to create the formula first.
Yeah. Yes. Please create this one. Some create buttons remain.
Then I go to my collections.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can create a new one too, or duplicate one you already created, so you don't have to redo what you did. Yes, perfect.
I call it a little bit, okay, let's say test. Doesn't matter.
You need to select the first block to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, in here.
The right test of doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, test.
Okay. So
it continue.
Yeah. And in your query in here, instead of using your variables, you're going to use your custom formula.
Oh yeah, here, exactly.
So it's really from project, perfect. And you've got SQL query, you see it? And then you can put in your string instead. It's so you can quote. You need to fill in your variables. Yes, in here, exactly. And before you type in, in here you can type in what you want, fill in what you want.
You mean what I want to find?
Exactly. This is the variable. Or you could select a variable from an element on your page too. It's really like you want.
Well, I don't know what I'm looking for. Let's say.
If you do that, you need to remove the quotes.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just.
Yeah. you
and
need to
remove
remove
the variable here, the SQL update string. And perfect.
Yeah.
You see?
Ah, I see. Yeah, of course.
So you can add
this-
multiple parameters. You can as many variables as you have, and so you can have a nice single place where you put your full query. So if you need to
Okay.
update it, it's much more easier than using
Yeah.
many variables.
Yeah.
Basically, what we've done with Gina, and we encourage everybody to do this, is that it's the same here as using like formulas or variables, but everything that you can abstract so that you only have one place to update everything. So you don't do like copy pasting all the time, and meaning you can use this formula everywhere now. So in your workflows or even in your collections, so you don't have to recreate the query all the time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So,
yeah.
well, I have no more wish for tonight.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, not bye. I stay with you.
Okay. So next question is from Brendan. I want to set up a subscription to access my content. How do I get started on this? I'd love a guide. So this is also a broad question, but the main thing, we won't have time to show it during this hour because this is a bit long to set up. But basically, you should use Stripe, the Stripe plugin, to do this and learn how to use Stripe, because Stripe is a subscription management tool. Basically, I think most of you maybe know Stripe, but Stripe is used by many big companies to handle payments and subscriptions. And when you use Stripe with WeWeb, you can then the main thing that you do normally is that when you get the contents, you will update your backend to say, okay, this user, for example, is now a paying user. And now you can use roles and permissions to get the content, for example, on some pages based on if the user is a paid user or a free user. So I hope this makes sense, because that would be really long to show during.
Can you tell us if you already has a stack, Brendan, if you are using Xano,
we can,
Supabase, or
yeah,
a
we can
custom
invite
backend?
you. Okay, we'll invite you, Spanish, saying, I understand the general idea on how to do this, but with limited programming skill and no guide, I'm not sure how to do this. So, yeah. Hey.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Fine.
Thank you.
So, what stack are you using right now, WeWeb, and which backend?
So right now I have WeWeb set up with Airtable to pull in. That's where my data lives, but I can set up something else. I saw that there's a guide for a Xano setup with a gatekeeping sort of function. And I saw that they have like the Stripe connection, so I can set that up as well. But how to get from that to the point where someone can go to the website, create an account, pay the subscription to then go ahead and access that, I don't know how to do.
So the first thing you need to figure out is your authentication system. So if you are using Airtable, you are taking a risk, a security risk, basically, because it's easy to access an Airtable table when you have when you can find the link to your base. So this is something a bit risky if you are using Airtable. I would not advise you to use that, especially if money is involved. So the easier one is would be Xano, I think, for you.
Okay.
So it's easy to set up authentication users and just to create some endpoints, private endpoints. So you should check their documentation for private endpoints. That's really important, because so the steps would be: you create the website on WeWeb, then you have a payment flow. So it depends how you want to set it. But basically, at the end of it, you would have a payment method like Q said with Stripe. So use the checkout from Stripe. It's really nice. It's easy to use. Just one action in WeWeb to be paid. You won't have to create the UI for this. Stripe did an amazing job. So to start, it's really nice.
Okay.
And once the payment is done, in Stripe, you've got what is called hooks. So when a payment is made on Stripe, you use the hook to call your Xano endpoint to save the payment
To
and be
update
sure
the user. Yeah.
exactly the update the user with the ID of the product you are selling, for example. And so you're sure that the user paid for this, and then when he goes back to WeWeb, so you can check the documentation to see how WeWeb and Xano works behind an authentication. And then when your users has the data, you give the content.
Yeah.
Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the general process makes sense. The my ability to set that up is what I don't know. I have
Yeah.
done very limited programming, and it's been like a decade since I've done anything. So I can follow a step-by-step guide, but trying to do all this on my own, I just don't know if I can do that. So I will, I guess, give it a shot. But I think that this might be out of my reach here if this is the best way.
We are talking about making a course in the academy on those kind of use case. So I guess you're gonna have content. I don't know when, so I can't promise anything for the next ones, but I can tell you that it's in the pipe.
Okay, yeah, because I think it.
Yeah,
sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when I'm looking for like a no code, low code sort of tool, one of the things that I'm trying to build are like a software as a service sort of setup for something. So in this case, I'm trying to build an interactive database for my Dungeons and Dragons book content where people can get in and see some of this stuff. And I can write a book, but I have no idea how to format this stuff. Like I can do it in Excel, no problem. But trying to set up the interface for someone to do that, it looks like I can do with WeWeb. I've got the basics set up. So like right now, someone can click on a spell, get to the content and see that. There's a filter to go through that. But trying to get like the payment piece set up and that stuff, like that's the huge advantage that something like this would bring. Because if I can't do that, I can just build it all in Excel and give everyone access anyways. So yeah, that's the gap I'm trying to figure out how to solve.
I hope the sales team won't hear what I'm going to say, but we've got other simple tool like Shopify or simple no-code tool also to create a simple marketplace if your use case is simple and you don't need any really custom things, and you don't feel like you wish to learn because you think it's going to take too much time for you to have this custom. You can start simple with some other tools. You can start simple, and then when you start selling and you're gonna wish to do more, to have more complex workflows and more complex UI, then I think you could try out again.
Come back to WeWeb. Yeah.
I hope you will do it with WeWeb, but
yeah, I mean, I have found the interface. There's a few hiccups I had at the beginning, but for the most part, it's been pretty easy to put stuff together. So like the gap for me is just the structure for controlling user access to it and the payment process for that. So if that can be solved, then the rest of it I already have like the MVP done. I could then start going through and cleaning it up, making it look nicer and all those pieces. But yeah, unfortunately, if I can't get this piece working, then I'll have to jump to something else. So that's where I'm hoping if you guys are looking for priority on things to do, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, when the components release, I guess.
The thing is that WeWeb philosophy is to follow web best practices to do complex apps. So that's what we've seen with Mapbox and the same with Stripe. So you have to follow their API. So obviously that you need some, I mean, not programming knowledge, but like kind of the logic of a programmer. But what will come like normally in November is that we'll release the components, the no-code components and the marketplace. So hopefully there will be power users that will like provide you with components that are much easier to use.
Gotcha.
And you'll have an experience like closer to Shopify or like softer other tools, you know. But at the moment, like we should release this tutorial, but even doing this tutorial, this is a task that takes days, like to implement a payment system using WeWeb and Xano, and that's not something we can like shortcut. So that's something we'll definitely do, but maybe in a few months, hopefully you'll have easier components.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going to work a lot on ready-made templates, ready-made components.
Yeah,
that
that would be
you can
great.
just drag and drop and use.
I'd love
Yeah.
to see it.
And hopefully we'll do the tutorial, but we're still 12, so we have a big roadmap. But yeah, that's definitely something we can add in the level 3 of the academy. I think that was even scheduled. So yeah.
Okay.
And also what Mark is saying in the chat is actually a great solution. So Outseta is another tool that handles payments for no code, and subscription is based on Stripe. So it's easier to use than Stripe because Stripe is really a low-level API.
Okay.
And that's something we also plan on. You can use the REST API for now, but if you don't have any programming knowledge, I'm talking with their team to do a plugin inside WeWeb. That should come also. I don't know if it's by the end of the year or early next year, but we should have a plugin for this. And it will be definitely easier than Stripe to handle payments for this kind of use case.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. And sorry for the the answer that's not a real answer, but that's something we're definitely working on. Yeah.
All good. All good. I appreciate it. Thank you for the details there. I'll take a look at the Outseta one that was recommended as well. And hopefully if there's a template or something like that that gets set up, I'd love to know about it when it does.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care.
Okay, so May is asking, can you show us an example of hosting for free users and maybe the first paid tier? What does self-hosting mean? So to get self-hosting and code expert, you should be on a paid plan, a yearly paid plan, to have the functionality. And actually, that's also something I'm afraid we won't have time to show. Maybe we can. I know that Joyce is preparing a tutorial also on this, because basically you are exporting a Vue.js app that you can host on any provider
platform.
like Amazon, Google, because it's just a Vue.js app. But you mean technical knowledge for this, for sure. But we're preparing a video on this, so should be easier to follow along. But yeah, I don't know if you want to add something on this, Flo.
No.
Just on what does self-hosting mean is that you can also, host your app on any provider. Because when you're hosting on WeWeb, basically we're using Amazon Web Services. We are hosted on Amazon Web Services. So you're using our own infrastructure. But if you want to self-host, for example, on Google Cloud Platform, on Microsoft Azure, or like if you're in Europe, you want to use OVH or I don't know, like Scaleway for GDPR purposes, you can do this using the self-hosting feature.
Yeah. One thing about this I can quickly add is that you do have the front-end app, the Vue.js app, but some plugins need some backend. So, and also if you are adding an authentication system on your application, if you also want to host the authentication, you will have to host a Docker also to have some servers. So it can be a bit more complicated if you, for those working in corporate companies, and you want the application to live in that infrastructure, you're gonna have to export also a web server to manage authentication. So your app is really secured in that infrastructure.
Yeah, but all the servers are on open source on GitHub, on our GitHub, like our elements, and you've got the README on how to host them. And basically, it's really easy when you have access to your your infrastructure, as Flo said. I've done it myself, and I'm not like a coder by. I didn't do like a programming school or engineering school. But the thing is, as Flo said, if you're in big corporate world, then you need to have access to your server. So you need to ask your tech team or like your DevOps, for example, to do this.
But usually we can assist for this. So you just have to contact us.
Oh, we'll assist personally.
Yes.
And how does hosting work for free accounts then? You don't have it if you're not paying. You need a yearly paid account. So like any plan, if you're paying yearly, not monthly, you get access to this, but it's not on free accounts. Otherwise, that's a choice we had to make. Otherwise, we would just create an app use it elsewhere, and we won't earn any money, and we need to still live as a company. So yeah,
If you need an example though to test, we can give
Yeah.
you one. Just contact
Yeah.
us and we're gonna give you a zip with the project so you can test it.
yeah, like the CRM project doing this a lot. Okay, let's get to the next one. Oh, we have so many questions. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just checked. Zachary, do you plan to make like a beta private NDA? I don't get the question. To the new design system update for agencies that have also. I'm sorry, I don't get your question, Zach, so I will make you step up on stage. Okay, let me find
The
you.
private NDA to the new design.
Okay, I see you've got like, no, just one question. Okay, go ahead.
You want to protect your kids?
Sorry, it will be very quick and very fast. Do you plan to give some little insight about how you will implement the new component system and the design system in order for us marketplace that has UI kit to not continue in a way that will be not fit the new standard, basically.
Yeah.
That's all.
But I won't give you the insight right now. I think we are going to contact you for this. What I can say is that your design system that we are going to recall libraries you're going to have version with this. So if someone buy you a UI kit, depending on your model, your pricing model, you can just sell a version of your library or subscription, so that anybody could be able to update on their project when there are updates. So don't worry with we are going to migrate. When we release the new libraries, we are going to migrate everything, so it will work, and we'll contact you to discuss all of this for the existing one. So,
okay. So and if someone wants to just copy one element or one component and paste in their project, they could do it if I implement it in the future, of course.
In the future, it's going to be an option. So if you are using components, you will be able to save your source code, kind of, and just authorize the copy or not. But we need to discuss this. This is kind of details we didn't also.
Sorry.
We need to talk about. But
Okay.
In the philosophy is that you're gonna have options and gonna be able to choose what you want to do with your libraries.
Okay, it's
that's what we design, technically speaking, and then we need to discuss how we can do it.
Thank you very much, and
thanks.
You're welcome.
We went for the win.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So let me take Fred's question. So quick question regarding setting a section to fill available space. Can't get a collection section to fill the full VH minus header footer. So we'll invite you, but my main answer would be to use a calculated CSS property. So use calc the VH minus the size of the header and the footer. But let's just invite you. I don't know if you've got
Let's bind the property.
Yeah. I see that there are many questions, but hopefully we'll be able to answer some more.
To create a flow chart on WeWeb with VueFlow component, or if there is a limitation.
No, let's just... Okay. Hey, Fred. Can you add your mic?
Let me just...
cool.
Hi, Fred.
Okay, cool. Yes, hopefully this will be a quick question. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a footer on this page. Maybe I'll show you on tablet size so you can see it a little bit better. And there's some content and it's scrolling, and I have the footer set to sticky at the bottom, and it's working fine. But I have another tab at the bottom called standings that shows a collection that may have one or more rows in it. And what happens is when I click on that, it goes to that page, but the header goes up to the top because the size of the section that the collection is in is not expanding. So what my goal is, and I try to do this, I think I maybe tried to do this in another. So I was trying to play around with having a spacer div there that would increase the size. So basically what I want to have happen is, actually, I'll go back to that other page. I just want this footer to stay at the bottom, even if there's only one row of data here. If there's more than row of data than will fit, then I scroll. Otherwise, I want this to be at the bottom, and it's not working for me. So I'm going to show you how I have that set up.
Yeah, select the section.
Yeah, so I'll select that bottom nav section.
Yeah.
So this is my bottom nav section is set to sticky at the bottom. If I go way down here, it says sticky 0. Which works fine for the other page that I was looking at, which was my home page. And I have a little different. Oh, one other sidebar here. When you click on mobile to look at the mobile view, you have a default size there for what that looks like. You guys are using 400. I design all my screens in mobile, so this is really frustrating because 375 is my minimum size. So every single time I have to go in here and readjust this thing, or readjust the size of it. So possible future feature would be to let somebody set up what their parameters are for what the size is that they want to see this mobile window. Might be helpful for your people who are mobile first developers like me. Anyways, that's the sidebar. So the way I have this set up on this homepage, if I go into the footer,
no, you can go to your.
What would you like me to do?
You can go to the second tab, the one
standings
that I had the problem with.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then let's select main section. Yes, perfect. And in here, can you show me the height?
Yeah, so I have a fake div in here that I was trying to use to expand that section, but this
I don't
section
think you won't need it. You won't need it. I think.
Okay, good. I'll take that out of there.
You can select main section.
Okay.
Yes, really the main section, not the div. Yes, this one, perfect. And you bound it. You bound the height in here. Can you show me to what?
Basically, it's just a calculation of the full window height minus the height of the.
You may need spaces between your minus. I think this is the issue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here you are.
Okay. So let's go.
CSS trick.
Okay, cool. So now if I go to, let me just check on my other sizes to see if that's working. Great. And then I just have to change the color of that background section. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that did the trick. Thank you very much. It was so simple just to have the space.
You're welcome.
Great,
no, but basically that's something people don't know, is that when you bind a CSS value, you should return a string that's interpolated by CSS. So CSS string.
I don't know. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a programmer.
Don't
worry. But it was driving me mental. So thank you very much.
Yeah. But it's the same for many developers, you know, the spaces between the minus. Nice trick.
But you can use WeWeb Copilot for this, See ya then.
Thank you.
Giovanni, I would like to know if it's possible to create a flowchart on WeWeb with VueFlow components, or if there are limitations. I think you can. Flo will be able to answer, but that's basically a Vue.js library. And if you see what we've done with our elements, for example, the calendar element or the Kanban element, they are based on Vue Draggable or VueCal. So normally you should be able to use any library to create custom components.
Do you want to code them, or do you want to use them in the editor?
Let me invite Giovanni. Oh.
If you want to code, let me send the documentation. So you can have examples, basically.
Yeah, because right now you will need to code them using Vue.js.
Yeah.
But in a few weeks, you'll be able to do it in no code using the NPM plugin and the components. Sorry, don't speak
Exactly.
English. Ah, okay. Yeah, no worries.
Well, no problem. But what I can do is to send you the documentation right now, so you can move forward. Queue with the last questions.
Yeah.
So we can try to get to everyone's question.
So Anthony, hello, perhaps a simple question for me, but I am trying to reset the data within my app after populating a table and chart data. I need to do it via a function. Thanks. So we'll invite you also, Anthony. But you've got a reset variable action in your workflow that I think you'll be able to use.
Hey guys, how
Hey.
you doing?
I know you.
Enchanté. It's a great session so
Enchanté.
far. I'll try and be quick because I know there's other people that have got questions to ask, but I'll share my screen. So hopefully relatively straightforward, but I just don't know how to do it. So I've got an app here that calls an API. So when I run the analysis, right now I've got the table that it's populating and the chart.
Mm-hmm.
It's including some of the old values.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to reset those values when somebody clicks on the run analysis button. I've got a reset button, but it just resets the fields in the text input. How do I also reset all of these values in here? Just to caveat that, these values in here are not being pulled from one single variable. They're the individual responses. So I'll move this panel so I can see.
Is this coming from a collection? Yeah.
Yeah. It's
okay. So it's dependent on the collection. You can't reset a collection. So what I would do is that create a big object variable that will store all the values. And when you do the API call, update this object instead of using the collection and bind to this object, you know. And then when you reset this variable as well. Because a collection will always have the last data you fetched from the API, yeah, basically.
Yes, exactly. So I need to create a variable that's say
like a proxy variable, you know, in between.
Yep. Okay, and add all the.
You can set it up. Do you know how to trigger a workflow at the page load when your page is loading?
Yeah, so I've got one workflow here that's my main one. So then I just have it reset. I'll work out the timing. That's okay. But yeah, I was hoping there might be an easier way than creating the variable with all of the.
Yeah, you need to create a variable. That's
okay.
But what I meant is if you click backlinks, the name of your page. Yeah. No, really on your page.
The top here.
Yeah.
Oh, click backlinks.
In here. Yes, in here. In here, in the settings of your page, you've got trigger workflows, you see?
Okay.
And in here, yeah, you can click new. And you see it's on page load. So what you can do is to fetch the collection, or after your collection are fetched, you can just add an action called change variable value and set up your variable.
Okay, I see. So, and then add each of the individual reset variable value.
It's a change variable.
Change. Sorry. Yeah.
Change. Yeah.
And then add.
One.
Yeah.
Then
I thought that might be it. I was just hoping there might be maybe a quicker way to do it, but it's no problem.
No, you cannot edit a collection on the front end. We did that for security reasons, but I think we are going to review this.
Okay, understood. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the time. I love the tool.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks. So I think we answered this during the latest office hours too. But so the video is on YouTube. I even made a short video about this. But basically, you would use the search input from WeWeb, and it has a workflow in it already, and you can change it to do an API call to Google, for example, and then bind the results to what is displayed in the search. So that's because basically the search input can be used with any API. So that's the point. And I think we'll do a tutorial with Joyce also about this, but basically adapt it to use the API like Google's API and then bind the results to Google. That would be a bit long to do also right now, but hopefully it's not that hard to do because the workflow is already existing in the search input. So you just have to adapt it to the API.
I may have the link. of the
Well,
video, the YouTube
for the video, cool.
Yeah. The last
Because
session.
I know that I've done a small video around this, I think, too. It's timestamped because the office hours are sent to our YouTube channel, and then they're timestamped. And for like big question that we answered with you guys, I get to do small videos about this that you can use as tutorials.
Well, I'm going to give you the full video link so you
But
can
in the
check it
meantime,
out.
we can answer your next question. Also, farm submit best practices to show loading and disable submit button. So what you would do also is that, while you're submitting the form, you can have a variable which is saying if the form is like editable or like loading, which is a true false, so a boolean. And when you're like submitting the form, you set this variable to true, for example, and then bind the fact that the button is disabled to this variable. You can show loading SVG, which is also bound to this variable. And when the workflow is done, you switch back this variable to false. So that what this means is that when the workflow begins, it will disable the button, show the loading icon, and then when it's done, it will remove them. So we have, like, I think it's in the academy for this, like Joyce has shown this. Sorry. So because basically every time you want to show a spinner or like a loading icon in WeWeb, you use this trick. And next question, will we be able to get answer for those of us who didn't get a turn? Yeah, so this is taking long. No, like the office hour every week, so hopefully you'll be able to ask them the next time. We don't have plans to make them longer, but if it happens many times, maybe we'll do this because this is really important also for you guys and for us product-wise. 2 hours, much better. We'll need to find a time though, because we're based in Paris, France, and most of you guys are not in France, obviously. So I think we've got many people from the US, and I've got even like feedback that people in Asia or like Australia want to attend. So we'll need to find times to do this, but definitely we'll adapt because it's only the second session we're doing with this format. We're learning with you guys. Sorry. And we'll need to prepare for this. But basically, yeah, I will talk about it to our CEO Raf, and we'll see with Flow. But I think we'll improve office hours definitely. Yeah, because we have many questions, and I get that it can be frustrating if we don't answer everything. So yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah. No, go ahead, Flo. Sorry.
Yeah. No. That's it, I think.
Okay.
That's nice.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. And maybe what we'll do is that we'll I'm thinking about this right now, but maybe we'll like have a max time we spend on this question, or like try to prioritize question. Maybe we'll add also forms or like 2 sessions. What Xano is doing, for example, is having a session for people really beginning WeWeb and another session for people that are used to WeWeb and maybe have more complex questions. So that's something we'll definitely improve. And we would be interested to have your feedback, but hopefully maybe do an American night session too. Yeah, but we'll do this. But like as the tech team is mostly in Europe, we need to adapt. But yeah, definitely.
I shared the link, but not to everyone. So my mistake. Give me 1 second. Here you are, Dave.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, definitely. So don't hesitate to give us your feedback in the chat or like on the community or everywhere, and we'll definitely add new office hours. I think we'll split also like a simple question from complex ones. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Next week we'll have another office hour, same time for now, and you'll be the first to know if we changed the format thanks to your feedback. In the meantime, have fun building with WeWeb. Feel free to ask your question on community, in the chat, in app if you're like a paying users. And yeah, we're definitely interested to have all your feedback. Also on support.weweb.io if you have bugs, and feedback.weweb.io if you want new features. And yeah, have a nice week, everybody. See ya.
Nice week. Bye-bye.